Lion Zoltan, you did a great job. With a few words, you explain a huge project. And as a member of the Oakville Lions Club, we have a great experience in this project. Our past PGG, Mr. Jack Rudin, was the part of this project for this deaf people. He was very much involved. We lost him this year, so it's unfortunate. But again, it's a great idea. But one thing I have to mention you, we were thinking that we are controlling all the technology, but I think it's a reverse. Technology is controlling us. Today, line Slava has to introduce you, and now what happened? You introduce line Slava is great thing. So I think line Slava. Let me. There is a lot of things. If I have to introduce you, I think it will take maybe more than 1 hour to introduce you.
Less is more. Less is more.
So Lions Slava Tsvetkov joined Lions Club more than 15 years, and she has an incredible journey about helping community through Lionism. Now she accepted new challenges through District A711, where her focus will be on expanding the awareness of hearing loss problems and helping the needy persons with reusable aids. So now it's my pleasure to introduce District A711 Hearing Conservation Chairman, Lion Slava Tsvetkov. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, both, and thank you for joining us. And friends, alliance, and guests, as Shakespeare once said, lend me your ears. Attending governors, past, present, and future, attending cabinet officers, I come to introduce you to the hearing conservation mission of Lions Club International and our commitment to it in Lions District A711. Before I do that, I must thank Lion District Governor Tibor Richards for appointing me as the District Hearing Conservation Chairperson last year, because until then, I was so very ignorant about the struggle of the silent victims of our society, the deaf people, who go unrecognized and ignored in most part. With the blind, we can spot the white canes, their service dog. We know who they are and watch out for them if they need help. Blindness separates people from things, Helen Keller once said, but deafness separates people from people. The hearing impaired people, they're invisible in the crowd, invisible and alone. And it is an important fight, said Keller, who was deaf as well as blind herself, who understood the isolation that hearing impairments can impose. I would also like to thank past District Governor Jeffrey Friedman for coaching me with my new job. I have a strong glasses recycling background, and that gave me the confidence to assume the responsibility with hearing conservation, thinking, I used to collect glasses, now I collect hearing aids, how can I go wrong? On my cell phone, I have 25 contacts where I have picked up donated glasses over the years, so I was a bit overconfident. But one conversation with past District Governor Jeffrey told me that hearing conservation is much more than collecting used hearing aids, which in itself is not an easy trick. Hearing aids on an average cost from $2,000 to $8,000. And given human nature, we don't want to part with a $5,000 investment easily, especially to a stranger. Another thing I learned about donating used hearing aids, you want to hang on to your old ones, because in case your new hearing aids need to be repaired, you can always fall back on the old ones temporarily. But Lion Jeffrey was aware that the need of hearing impaired people goes well beyond collecting used hearing aids, and he urged me to dedicate my service in raising the awareness of the hearing loss dangers and the health needs of the hearing impaired community. And he was right. A growing body of research indicates that people with untreated hearing loss may be at an increased risk of depression. Depression is a common mental disorder that affects estimated 350 million people worldwide, according to the World Federation of Mental Health. The link between unaddressed hearing loss and depression is compelling. For example, a large-scale body of the National Council of Aging found that people who were 50 years and older with untreated hearing loss were more likely to report depression, anxiety, anger and frustration, emotional instability and paranoia, and were less likely to participate in organized social activities than people who wore hearing aids. The degree of depression and other emotional or mental health issues also increased with the severity of the hearing loss. Hearing impairment does not discriminate rich from poor or regal. Her Highness, Princess Alice, the late Prince Philip's mother, was born deaf herself, and she had to get used to coping with her disability throughout her whole life. And so it began my research in the hearing loss field, where in the course of events, the inevitable happened. A club received a request for financial assistance for the purchase of new hearing aids. I sent a polite reply saying that regretfully, we in Lands District A711 do not provide such financial assistance, but there are several governmental and non-governmental institutions where they may qualify, and I sent them a list. I was amazed to hear back from them thanking me for this information because they did not expect to find so many places giving financial assistance with purchasing new hearing aids. And in case anyone else needs to know, here they are. The ODSP, Ontario Works, Department of Veteran Affairs, the Workmen's Compensation, First Nations, the Ontario Ministry of Health pays in part. The Canadian Hard of Hearing Association also pays in part. The Ontario Assistive Device Program, they pay $500 for a single feature, $1,000 for both, and $1,350 for the FM system, up to 75% of the cost. And Robilar's stress-free financial program also pays up to 75% of the cost. During my online research, I was amazed to find the strong commitment by many associations which are providing free help with hearing healthcare programs all over the world. And here are some of them in no particular order. Sir Thomas, the Knights of Columbus, St. John's Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services, located in New Brunswick, and they have a hearing aids recycling program. The Rotary Club, they help with children with hearing loss. England Help the Aged, who also partner with Help Aged India Hearing Aids Appeal. Worldwide Hearing, they reduce the cost by over 90% in some cases. And Worldwide Hearing Care for Development Countries, they service mostly Mexico, Central and South America. Let Them Hear Foundation, Liga International, Hearing for Children, who requires patients to pay what they can and has low or no interest cost for the rest of the cost. In most cases with them, free hearing aids are available for patients who are completely unable to pay. The Hearing Foundation of Canada, the Canadian Hearing Services, with whom we used to partner in the past, but they are temporarily closed due to COVID. The Starkey's Hearing Foundation, they've been in existence for over 50 years and distributed over 50,000 used hearing aids all over the world. And lastly, the Canadian International Hearing Services, with whom we have most recently partnered in the global distribution of used hearing aids. The foundation is established in 1975 and provides volunteering services in hearing healthcare to countries all over the world. And where do we, Lions, stand in that global mosaic of free hearing impaired healthcare providers? Just as vision-related programs have been a key element of Lions Club international activities since before Helen Keller called on Lions in 1925 to carry out a crusade against darkness, Lions have also been prominent in the battle to help people with hearing impairments. Yes, Lions around the world are working to raise awareness, bring medical care, and provide education to help prevent hearing loss. More than 275 million people worldwide are hearing impaired or deaf, according to World Health Organization. And as you can see, a dozen or so volunteer agencies are still a drop in the bucket when we look at the needs of 275 million people in the world, where many cannot afford it. Lions formally identified hearing conservation as a major activity in the early 70s, and that effort gained a momentum when past Lions International President Ralph A. Lenham, who served from 1978 to 79, designated helping the hearing impaired as his major program. In countries from India to the US, Lions have equipped special mobile screening units to screen infants for hearing problems, since early diagnosis is a key to learning and socialization. These hearing vans go to shopping malls and crowded city neighborhoods. Lions also offer special camps where children who are deaf can enjoy the outdoors while learning skills which help them to navigate a silent world. Some camps, such as Camp Pacifica and the Lions Wilderness Camp for Deaf Children, which opened in California in 1979 and 80 respectively, specialize in hosting children with hearing impairments. In addition, there are many of Lions summer camps for children who are disabled and offer special sessions for children with hearing impairments. Lions have put their experience in creating programs to improve sight and prevent blindness, but Lions also help dedicated to work in creating programs to serve people with hearing loss. Just as Lions collect and refurbish used eyeglasses for distribution, they created the Hearing Aid Recycling Program in year 2000 to refurbish and distribute hearing aids. And just as guide dogs offer remarkable help to people who are blind or visually impaired, Lions help fund programs for dogs to guide people with hearing impairments. These hearing guide dogs are trained to respond to household sounds like a knock on the door, a smoke alarm, or even a baby's cry. "We're all ears for the hearing impaired" is a motto of the Lions Hearing Dog Program in Australia, which trains its own dogs. Because surgical intervention and equipment can be costly, Lions often provide financial assistance, but aid comes in other forms too. Lions conduct public awareness programs to educate their neighbors about protecting hearing and identifying hearing problems in youngsters, and sometimes that guidance can be priceless. For example, in the US, at the Lions Hearing Center in Michigan in Detroit, Toni Cannon Mitchell found counseling and free service for her son after learning he was deaf. Without the help of the Lions facility, which opened in 1999, her son would not have made the fine progress he has achieved, and he might not have the bright future he has now, she said. And what is our claim to fame in contributing to the hearing impaired community of our province? The Lions Home for Deaf People, of course, which has been in existence since 1967, when Reverend Bob Rumble, pastor of the Ontario Mission of the Deaf, approached the St. Catharines Central Lions Club to help fund a farm for deaf children. It soon became evident that the project was too large for one club, so multiple District A formed the Lions Homes for Deaf People. Lions Homes for Deaf People is a board of trustees consisting of lions, lionesses, and people who have an interest in helping people who are deaf or hard of hearing in Ontario. And it is estimated by MDA, Lions International, and registered as a charitable organization. The current chairman of Lions Home for Deaf People is past District Governor Lion Zoltan Dohar, who is also the MDA Hearing Conservation Chairperson. Our mandate at the Lions Home for Deaf People has changed over the years. We originally provided homes for children who attended one of the 3 provincial schools for deaf in Belleville, Milton, and London. But it soon became evident that more homes for deaf children were needed, so we changed our mandate to serve. Now we house people who are deaf of any age in more than a dozen towns in southern Ontario. And We also included people with additional exceptionalities, such as blindness, people in wheelchairs, and developmental delay. And these are the projects that Lions Home for Deaf People have completed. In the late 60s, there is the Boys' Dome of the barn for the summer. And then we have a Lions Home for Deaf in Woodbridge, Lions Home for Deaf in Belleville, Lions Home for Deaf in Brentford, Ottawa, a Lions Resource Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing in Sudbury, Infirmary, Ontario Camp for Deaf in Parry Sound, Lions Home for Deaf in Ottawa, the second home, and the last McCain's House for Deaf in Brantford. And then we have the Lions Marcel House for Deaf and Blind in Byron, London. We have the Canadian Hearing Society Communications Device and Accessibility Centers. There is the Glabe Center Incorporated. Now, we also have projects, ongoing projects we have most recently completed. First, the Lions McCain's House in Brantford. We intended to enclose the pavilion so that 13 residents can use it year-round at a cost of $45,000, and this project is completed and paid for. And the second is the new house in Barrie, where we are partnering with Ontario Deaf and Blind Services, and they were asking for $170,000. And this new house will be called the Lions Graydon House. The third is a residential complex for people that are deaf and blind, which was built in Paris, Ontario, and this project is also completed. Now, the most exciting thing about the Lions Home for Deaf People, which I learned, is how much the Lions Club members have already contributed to help with the construction and ongoing financing of the Lions Home for Deaf People. But what concerns me is that many of the District A711 Lions Club members are not aware that 80% of the Lions Home for Deaf People funding comes from the $500 Helen Keller Award fees. I believe it's very important to reiterate to our district club members how much the Lions Home for Deaf People rely on their support, which once again comes mostly from these Helen Keller Awards, and that by recognizing our members and volunteers, we sustain the Lions Home for Deaf People. The Helen Keller Awards are normally presented to deserving club members, volunteers, or sponsors during the formal clubs or district ceremonies, which during this time of COVID isolation are no longer taking place. This has led to a sharp decline in the funding of the Lions Home for Deaf People, and the foundation will be looking for alternative venues of fundraising, which in turn will need your support. I intend to expand on that in my future club visit and during their online club meetings, as well as during the District A711 cabinet meetings, where I'd like to invite all clubs to consider honoring as many club members as possible with this award, which is a win-win situation. It honors the dedication and commitment of our Lions Club members, and it supports the funding for Lions Home for Deaf People. During one of our numerous conversations, the MDA Hearing Conservation Chairperson, Zoltan Dohar, observed that one area in Toronto has a larger population than some of the Lions Club districts which he knows, and it sounds reasonable that 2 Lions Club members should carry out the job for such a large district area as District A711, which, by the way, numbers in the millions. Therefore, we have the approval of Governor Lion Thibault Richards to bring another person on the hearing conservation team. The formal title for the second member will be District Hearing Conservation Vice Chairperson, as per MDA Hearing Conservation Chairperson Dohar's recommendations. And being that hearing conservation covers an essential health concern, a Lions Club member from one of the doctors' Lions Clubs in the district should be invited to join the hearing conservation team. That way, we can have someone with a formal medical background working in the research and hearing loss awareness presentations to the clubs and the public. Last but not least, a 2-person team would ensure a long-term successful continuity of the hearing conservation program. Should one member be unable to carry on for any reason, District A711 will have a well-trained person to take on the job without interruptions. Ours is a district with a very large population where hearing loss impacts the lives of a great many people. We Lions need to be there on a regular basis, along with the rest of the institutions in our province, which already provide volunteer service to the hearing impaired community. Thank you for joining me today in attending this session.
That's great line, Slava. Is great. Excellent, excellent performance. You have given us such a huge information to us. And I'm surprised it's more than 270 million people. They could not afford this kind of stuff. It's a big thing. And on the other hand, Lions do everything. Lions say, we serve. And I think Lion Zoltan PTG wants to say something about it. Please go ahead.
Lion David. Me?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I did not realize that Lion David was from the Oakville Lions Club. If you
yes, Lion Jack Verdon.
This was Lion Jack Radin from the Oakville Lions Club. He was chairman of our board for Lions Home for Deaf People for about 43 years.
Wow.
That is ridiculous. One man, the chairman of the board for over 4 decades. Not a member, but the chairman. I've been trying to step into his shoes, but they're awfully big shoes to fill. I've been the chair now for about 6 years. I'd like to say something about 7-Eleven, and I might be putting my foot in it. You have by far the largest population anywhere in Ontario.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Just Toronto alone, never mind Hamilton, Oakville, Mississauga, And yet, the Oakville Lions Club, through their annual golf tournament, where they donate half the proceeds to Lions Homes for Deaf People, make up, on average, at least half of all the donations from 7-Eleven, the one club. And yet, a little place like A2, we have a population about the size of 3 of your apartment buildings in Toronto. We give more than any other district in MDA. I'd like to challenge the Lions clubs in District 711. You have 81 Lions clubs. 81. Fantastic. Wow. You've got a whole whack of new Lions clubs this year. Fantastic. Remember, Lions Home for Deaf People, we do phenomenal work. And if it wasn't for Jack Graydon from the Oakville Lions Club, 7-Eleven would be almost, the amount of donations would be negligible. And I hope that turns around this year with Slava as the chairperson. Now, if anybody have any questions, I'm sure Slava and I would try to answer them. But anyhow, I just wanted to say that, thank you, Lion.
Excellent. Thank you, Lion PDJ. Lion Jordan is great appreciation, great words. We still have a 1.5 minute. I'm not sure if it's disconnected automatically. Before closing, I want to request again, Lion Slava, to say what is your closing remarks on that. And you want to share anything? I just heard a couple of messages on the side. They are appreciating. Lion N is there, Lion Sandy was there, Lion Onkar, Lion Shafi. They appreciate what exactly the program is. Please.
What I want to say is that it's not by chance that the 3 of us are joined together in working on this project, because Oakville has been a pivotal part in the past, and you're from Oakville. And so I think that by the grace of I'm going to say the powers that guide us, we are again brought together to continue this, to unite and have strength together. You agree, Zoltan?
Absolutely.
So I hope that one thing that I think what we should be able to contribute is increase the awareness on a district level about LAN's international strength in hearing conservation, because I've been with Lions Club for so many years, and to me, hearing conservation was a non-entity, and I think I'm not alone. I think this is something that we have to work on a district level, and once we change that, then we can strengthen the Lions Homes for Deaf people too.
I just want to add one thing to it, and she didn't really blow her horn hard enough on this. I hope I don't go over. I do believe that between 8/2 and 7/11 this month, okay, we put our resources together, and I think we donated. How many hearing aids did we have?
We have close to 50 hearing aids in a year of COVID. No, over 50. What am I saying? So between 50 and 60 hearing aids in a year of isolation. This is remarkable because we cannot canvass. We cannot go anywhere. We're meeting with people. It's like a curbside pickup, and still we have kept the pace and kept the faith.
And I just want to re-emphasize, carrying on a program that's in existence is hard. To start a program from scratch, that's phenomenally hard. Thank you, Slava.
Oh, listen, I hope that we all can keep up the good work, and we will continue Jack's legacy.
That's it.
Absolutely. Slava, I have one question before we end the session. When we are talking about used aids, I know it's a pandemic time. It's very difficult to do these kind of, but yes, Lions we serve, we do this kind of stuff. So where we are proceeding with all the aids is going to the local public, or is going to the countries, or where it goes? I know about the glasses. Okay. It goes to the country, they can afford it. Please.
Because hearing aids need to be disinfected and repaired, fixed, we give them to associations which have experience in that. It's irresponsible to hand them over, like chestnuts, especially like hot chestnuts, especially during the COVID times. So we have partnered with the new international association because the hearing association was not and is not accepting them. So it's the international hearing services. They're still continuing the work, and they're the ones who receive them, and they distribute them globally. They have strong presence in the Caribbean islands. They have strong presence in India, Bangladesh. They have been all over the world, and there's something that we decided for now. In the future, we may research and find other associations which do the same work, or we may have a good rapport with others. But for now, because we are limited by the circumstances, we accepted their service, and they're happy with us. And I've learned from them quite a bit.
Okay, there's a question for you both. I know it's a very difficult project, and you already mentioned all the list of where we are helping as a Lions Club. All the members are involved. But in coming days, what is your plan? What is your future thinking? How to involve the new Lions over there? Or what is your program? What is the event you want to do?
Lion Sandy, our future governor, in consultation with her, she raised a valid point, and she said the new club members, they're eager for a hands-on experience, and this is something that would give them an opportunity to get involved with once the isolation restrictions are over. And this is something which we hope to develop in the way as the eyeglasses collections, like things are done by Mrs. Saga, where we have many clubs being able to participate with us in whatever way they're able to join. They may be collecting glasses, they may be doing other things, but we want to give the opportunity to the new members to share this with us. And this is something which Lion Sandy was very eager to discuss with us.
That's great. Line John, you can answer the same thing in a different world if you want. But yes, I have a question for you. In coming days, everything is changing to digital now, digital. Everything is going online. So do you think that we have to upgrade ourselves instead of going to the clubs and giving them a personal information, giving them a slideshow? Are we thinking about something to make it a little bit more modernized, a way to help or to connect all the members to share the information?
Uh, in an attempt to do something along that line, Dave, if you go on Google search and just type in Lions Home for Deaf People and click on eClubhouse Lions Home for Deaf People, you'll find our website. We started that website about 4 years ago, and on it is our some of our history, some of the pictures of some of the homes that we've opened up. It also has a Helen Keller Fellowship application form. And it also has on there something that's really important is that Helen Keller recipients. Some people in a club like Oakville, who have a lot of people in your club that have Helen Keller Fellowships, you say, oh, geez, does Dave have one or not? I can't remember. If you go on our website and go on Helen Keller recipients, go to District 711, and it's listed by club, you can find out who has and who hasn't got one. So it's an attempt. Now, we will be doing other stuff. Slava has been invited last board meeting, and we're having one April the 28th. She's mentioned something about, as opposed to just the Helen Keller or maybe a straight donation, maybe for the lack of a better word, it's like a FundMe page, but it's not a GoFundMe, but it's because that you have to pay money for. This is something along that line that she has been introducing to us. There's also other things that the district, how can I say this? The board is considering. The problem is there's a lot of people like me that are old dinosaurs. They're not like you, Dave. I had a hard time getting onto this website today, and for me to tell my treasurer, say, we're going to have to do e-transfers, we're going to have to do this, that, and the other thing. It's difficult because most Lions clubs, you can't do e-transfers because you need 2 signatures. And e-transfers, you can accept e-transfers, but you can't out. So technology is good. We're trying with our website. We're going to tweak it to make it better, but that's making your short answer long.
I think what Zoltan is trying to say is that we are making the move towards online fundraising, and there are many ways to introduce.
That's great. I think we got a little bit grace time. They're saying yes, topic is very good. I request Line Zoltan, can you put your email address or your contact information on the message side? So if anybody, I request all the persons who are online, all the members, if you have any question, you can put it over there in the side. You can type it and we can try to answer that. And second thing, Line Zoltan, please put your information, and Line Slava, put your information on the side, so that because it's going to be a live, and most member will see later on too, and they're going to go through that. If they find any question,
I want to invite everybody to join me at the Facebook District A711 Hearing Conservation page, which I manage for us, and that's where I may put part of this presentation, and we can stay together. I have already created a fundraiser for Lions Home for Deaf People through the District A711 Facebook page, and I haven't received any tremendous amount of money. I want to invite everybody. What I want to say in fundraising, especially on that page, any humble amount is better than shying because I don't have $100. I don't either. I gave $10. But if everybody gives, a very symbolic amount, it reflects nicely on the district, where we can see that we have united with our energies. It's a beautiful synergy to show that we have really, started caring for that project itself.
Yes. And just to update in the final line, Zoltan was saying that yes, we have a project in Lions, Oakville Lions Club, like a 50% going to the special noble cause. And this year we were planning to start the golf tournament on September 13. But I don't know, yesterday they announced that all the golfs are closed. I am hoping it will be open back again. And we will see that we might have the same money to donate back. So heart-touching, really is a touching story. It's beautiful, beautiful. So, and every parent wants to see that kind of moment. And I think as a Lions, you're doing a great, marvelous job. And on the other hand, we have to promote this one to each and every club. They understand what we are doing, because the new member, they should know what the Lionism is about. So I think it's a great idea. So I will request again, Lion Zoltan to say final words. And after that, Lion Slava will say final words and we'll close the session, please.
District 711, you are growing by leaps and bounds. I thank you for inviting me to be on your program. I am encouraged by the enthusiasm by your hearing chair, and I look forward to great things from your district. Again, thank you very much for your kind, well, even though technology kind of let us down at the beginning, I think at the end we kind of pulled it off. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lion Johnson. We really appreciate your visit over there, and hopefully we'll soon do the more this kind of sessions. Lion Slava, please.
Thank you. I see all the new friends have joined us today, so I want to thank everyone for joining me, joining all of us, and I hope that you will lend us your support in the future in developing the hearing awareness in our district, because unless we really recognize what it stands for and what it means to the people that we look after, we cannot really fully sustain this program. I think that this is it's something that the district sort of, it has a bit of a gap about this, and we need to work on it.
That's great. Lion Slava, that's great wording. Thank you very much, all the guests, and thank you very much, all the visitors and Lions who are watching online, and all the members who are going to watch later. And you have seen on the side, Lion Zoltan had put their email address. I think Lion Ann was asking for your Facebook link. If you can put it over there, is great. Please, Lion Slava, you can put your email address too, so that in future, if anybody wants to connect with you directly, they can do it. Thank you very much for that, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.
One second.
Thank you.